All right, hi, this is Starkie Sowers. Welcome to another Facebook Live moment here at Clark's Nutrition. So hopefully you guys are gonna kind of come around and maybe notify some buddies and come on in and we'll like hang out for a few seconds here and we'll be chatting back and forth, give you a little time to settle in.
What are we going to talk about today, Starkie?
Yeah, so what we're going to do, we're going to talk about weight loss. We'll also kind of maybe talk a little bit about what's going on around Clark's today. So I'm in the Riverside store today, so it's Tuesday. So one thing we do have is Dr. Roxana Modar doing B12 injections today. So I told her to come by and slip over here and give me a shot real fast. So we'll do an online shot. That'll be kind of fun too, right? All right. So in that thought of what we're doing, we've got a few little layouts, and I'll talk about some of the things that have been happening here. We came out with some cubes, and we've been doing a bunch of Facebook things with those cubes. So I'll kind of show you some of the insides of those cubes a little bit, and maybe some of the works on that. So, all right, give it a few moments there, get everything together. We'll get a few more things here. Last moment.
So you're going to start today with a B12 shot, and that goes right along with weight loss, right?
Well, the biggest thing about B12, when you think about B12, obviously it's great for energy, it's good for endurance and stamina, but the biggest thing about B12, I've used it off and on for years. One of the things I like about using the B12 injections, number one, as you get older, your body doesn't absorb B12 as effectively, right? So especially when you get 45 plus and be in that 58 category like me, the body's absorption of B12 goes down quite a bit. It's called atrophic gastritis, all right? So ultimately an injection about once a month, it's a great thing. Back in the day when I was doing a lot of bodybuilding and things of that nature, I would hit about 2 injections a week because it seemed to help with the recovery, like lower back pain and stuff like that. And that's more anecdotal for myself. Everybody's a little bit different. So what's nice about having the B12s here in the shop in the stores is you don't have to go pay a doctor visit and then pay the $25 or $50 for the shot and everything like that. So Dr. Roxana Modar is here. So we did a Facebook with you a while ago, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. All right. So let me ask you this, just for the fun of it. So what do you see as some of the benefits of the B12 injections?
So it really helps with energy. A lot of times people do it for sleep as well because it goes into the melatonin producing pathways,
right.
And then also helps with mood because it helps create dopamine, which is kind of the happy juice, the mood stabilizer.
So check this out. The reason why I like it, we're talking a little bit about recovery, backaches. It seems to help with with like if I'm working out and I'm working out heavy, it seems to heal my back up a little bit faster. That's just me personally. Mm-hmm. So the other thing is, and I rarely talk about this because it's in that nootropic world, which is using different types of nutrients for different types of mental stimulation. What I like about it is the vivid dreams I get at night when I use it. All right, so I get these like crazy like neon, like let's see if I can. We have nothing really like neon purples and greens, and I wake up and go, that was really cool. So I just kind of dig that,
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun. So, all right, so you got a B12 shot.
Yes.
I'm a little scared with that needle and everything like that.
It's a very small needle.
Okay.
It's the same size as insulin needles, so you barely feel it.
So barely feel it.
Good.
All right, so we're going to do the left side. All right, so bring it on. Here we go.
Okay, there you go.
All right, so how many B12 shots you been doing around here lately? A lot, huh? Like in the thousands?
And every Tuesday, Roxana, you're in the Riverside store offering B12
Yes,
from
10 to 3.
All
10
right.
to 3, and then tomorrow you're in Loma Linda.
Yes, from 8:30 to 4:30.
8:30 to 4:30. That's a long day.
That's a very long day. Yes.
And then Fridays you're out where? Rancho Mirage, right?
Yes, from 10 to 3 as well.
10 to 3 as
yeah.
well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so $25?
Yes, $25 for 5 milligrams of methylcobalamin.
So let's talk a little bit about your practice.
Okay.
So your practice is next door to the Riverside store here.
Mm-hmm.
So my daughter gets sick the other day, and I call her up. I go, "What are you doing?" She goes, "I'm having Dr. Roxana give me an intravenous vitamin C injection to get over being sick quickly."
Yes.
So that's another thing that they can do a little bit separately next door with you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's so you've got what? You've got something for wellness. You've got stuff for what kind of IVs are you doing?
So I have such a variety of different nutrients in the practice.
In the clinic,
so
right?
people that tend to look at the bags that tend to be more popular are the immune supportive ones. So they want to kind of get over the flu a little bit quicker or prevent it. A lot of people before they travel, because they're in the airport with a lot of people, they get a bag. We have some people that do it on a regular basis because they travel so often, and it's helped them really prevent getting sick.
I know my daughter has made a big difference. She rebounds a lot faster than what she had done before.
Yeah, right. So
Okay.
you're getting a bunch of supplements intravenously at larger doses. It's a little bit more efficacious.
Just a nice little push.
Yes.
By the way, it's super popular back in the 70s.
Really?
Yeah, now we're seeing it like all over the place. So good stuff. All right, cool.
All right, thank you,
All
Dr.
right, thank
Doctor.
you. Appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Dr. Modar.
So
All right,
B12
cool.
goes
So
right
we're-
along with weight
yeah.
loss as well, right?
Well,
sir?
you know it does. A lot of people do real well having B12 injections for the energy, so it helps with the weight loss. The other thing is, she was talking about hitting the methyl donor pathways, which it helps with the dopamine production, so it makes you like feel happy and feel good. So it kind of reduces the appetite a little bit. What's nice is she's in 3 stores. Don't forget in Chino, we have Dr. Wendy Wong, and she also does the B12 and some other different types of injections. She uses what is called MIC, which is methionine, inositol, and choline, which is directly for weight loss as well too. But that's only currently at the Chino store. So, all right, so we're going to talk about weight loss. All right, so we just finished doing some seminars last weekend, Saturday. Each one of the stores, we did a diet on or did a lecture on the perfect diet. So a lot of times people think, well, what's the best diet? You know, keto, paleo, do I go like the old Atkins style, or do I just do like the basic food guide pyramid, or what do I do? And so what we did is we actually brought people in, we put them through a seminar, kind of gave them some education about different types of food systems that are out there, talked about paleo and things of that nature. But what we did is we talked about metabolic typing. Ultimately, this is what I use with a lot of my athletes and people. I think the metabolic typing book answers a lot of questions for individualized nutrition. So what this does is it kind of puts you in a situation where it kind of answers for you what's the best diet for you. A lot of times we want to take a round peg, so to speak, and put it in a square hole, and it just doesn't fit. So you take somebody who's like maybe vegan and they go, I want to try keto to lose weight. They jump on the keto, they just don't feel good. Mind you, there's a little period of keto where you oftentimes you get what they call the keto flu, but ultimately what happens is those individuals go, it just didn't work for me. Well, what this does is it kind of takes 2 things into account. Number one, it kind of works with your genetics, literally kind of where your genetics came from. And I like to say that in a couple different ways. When we think about like somebody like maybe that lived in Iceland, their diet's going to be completely different than their diet that, if they lived in Hawaii. Okay, it's just the protein carbohydrate ratios and things of that nature are going to be totally different. So that said, what happens is their genetic preferences that are handed down to them from mom and dad oftentimes are a little bit different. So what this does, puts you through a little questionnaire, helps you identify what foods are probably best for your type, and then actually shows you a diet plan to go with it. We, of course, did a workbook here at Clark's. And so you can ask for that workbook if you want to come into the stores, talk to one of the nutritional consultants. And those workbooks are kind of a short version of that, and it lays out the diet and all the different types of foods that you need and everything like that. So that's number 1. Number 2, a lot of people are into paleo. So if you're going to do paleo or just thinking about paleo for different reasons, probably some of the number 1 reasons for doing paleo, people with autoimmune situations or inflammatory situations or just gut health issues, really gravitate towards the paleo book. All right, this one's excellent. It's called Practical Paleo. Just kind of within a few pages, kind of get you up and running. You don't have to read the intro. The intro is kind of fun. It talks about the lady, which is San Filippo. All right, and so kind of her journey. So that's kind of cool, the intro. But then right away, what she does is she kind of tells you what foods to eat, what foods avoid, and then she has specific things for like if you have like cancer recovery or autoimmune disease, and she actually kind of lays out a diet for 30 days for you. So it's kind of a neat way to go. And then of course, she's got recipes in the back. So it's kind of a cool book. Highly recommend this one. I think if you're doing paleo, it has some really good guidelines too on setting out your paleo needs, but then also kind of maybe reintroducing some foods back in that you might like and seeing how well you do with it. All right? So then, people come in the door all the time. It's first of the year. People want to talk about weight loss. So I thought, for me, I like to think of weight loss in a couple different things. Number 1, you want to lose weight, yes, but ideally most people want a shape, or they're looking or thinking of something in their head. It's like, okay, I want to look this way or I want to look that way. So ultimately, I'm always looking for substances that kind of help change the shape or make a difference with your body, so to speak. It's one thing to lose weight, but it's another thing to change your shape. Ultimately, what you see in the mirror is what you're probably looking at more so than anything else. So a couple of my favorites. I'm just going to whip through a couple of my favorites. Number 1, I love CLA. Okay, CLA is excellent for 2 things. Number 1 is excellent for belly fat. okay? So using CLA, mind you, a couple different food sources of CLA. Believe it or not, it's going to be dairy, safflower oil, as well as sunflower oil. Okay, I don't see a lot of people using sunflower oil nowadays or safflower oil, but back in the 70s, when I was doing bodybuilding competitions, we used to buy safflower oil and eat it. Problem is, you got to eat a lot of safflower oil to get to the amount of CLA that we need. 3 to 6 of these a day is probably about 6 tablespoons of safflower oil. So the weight loss effects you might get is more like a cleansing reaction from eating so much oil. So in my opinion, it's so much easier to eat straight CLA. All right, start with like 2 a day and work your way up to about 3 to 6, depending on your body size. But it's excellent for abdominal fat. So in my book, that's one of the number one things. With my athletes, I always use PGX. PGX is a fiber. It literally absorbs about 700 times its size. It swells up like crazy, so you got to be careful when you first start using it. There's directions on the side, and it basically tells you you want to start with a small amount and then gradually increase. I really don't recommend using much more than what I call week 2's worth, which is about a scoop a day with this. They'll tell you to use a little bit more. But a couple things that I find with my athletes, number one, does 2 things. Clinically proven, by the way. Dr. Lyons did all the research on it. So when you look at it, it reduces the appetite. The other thing that it does is it also reduces what we call glycemic index or glycemic load of your foods. So it helps your body metabolize carbohydrates much slower and puts us into a position where our bodies are much more able to manage it, and it helps to regulate insulin more effectively. Remember, if insulin's too high, then we're going to stack away body fat like crazy. So what this does is kind of helps to regulate it, down-regulate the insulin, make it a little bit smoother throughout the day. A couple different ways you can use it. You can use the powder, which in my opinion is probably the best buy, but it's a little bit of a hassle. The other one is PGX in the capsules with some MCT oil, which ultimately seems to be a little bit more effective. So CLA along with PGX. The other thing I typically like to use is something that's kind of bring the metabolism up a little bit. So I use a couple different things. This is a classic one, metabolism. It's by Life Seasons, so it's got some green tea in it, a couple other different things that are kind of slight thermogenic activities. Works really well. Me personally, I don't do real well with caffeine products, so I stay away from caffeine products because it kind of overstimulates my adrenal glands. So what I end up doing is using basic MCT coconut oil. MCT coconut oil is a thermogenic aid and it works very effectively. At the same time, what's cool about it is it's just safe as safe can get. And so you don't have to worry about overstimulating the adrenals or do anything kind of funky to your body where you feel kind of weird and stuff like that. All right? So that's the PGX story. The other thing I like to do is use carnitine before the workout. Carnitine basically helps the body use fats as an energy source. So using it before the workout, it encourages the body to use more fats as an energy source, especially stored fats as well too. Not only that, kind of gives you a nice little kick, gets your energy levels up to where you're feeling pretty decent. As you know, keto is really popular right now. So there's been a couple new add-ons for our keto array of things that we've got available. So a couple different things is Keto Fit. This is basically like a pre-workout fit formula. And this is a keto meal. I've been eating this stuff. I love this stuff. So it's kind of fun. Lindsay, I know you've been doing the keto diet. Have you tried this yet?
I have not.
You've got to try this stuff.
Okay.
Tastes amazing, right?
Okay.
So it's really kind of fun. It's obviously, believe it or not, it's a grass-fed butter-based product.
So how do you eat it?
So
how are you?
I'm like eating it straight out of the can.
No.
I know you're supposed to actually mix it, but I've been digging like it's like this treat. I just like it tastes freaking amazing.
All right.
So I've been eating it out of the can. Of course, it also has some grass-fed whey protein as well too. So finally, for the day, just kind of clearing some stuff out of the way. A lot of times people come in and they want to do like some type of a plan. Like, okay, what do I do to get in shape? And so what we did is we put together the cubes, okay? And you've been hearing us talk a lot about these cubes lately. We have a slim cube, we have a rib cube, and we have a keto cube. Specifically a little bit different. So the keto cube is a couple different things. What we did is we put in here some information for you. And I'm seeing, okay, this is the keto cube. So what we did is we basically told you a little bit about keto diets, what it takes to do it, some real simple information. We also actually gave you a little bit of a diet plan. So it's actually in there for like just a sample diet so you know what to do. The other thing we did is we kind of gave you some of the foods to eat when you know whether you're in ketosis or not.
And there's also some exclusive coupons in there, right? That
Exclusive coupons, no
can't get
question
anywhere
about
else.
that. So a lot of things what people do in the keto diet is, as I was saying, one of my favorite thermogenic aids is the MCT oil. It's my favorite one, okay? I love using this one. It's part of the keto diet. So one of the things that happens with coconut oil, if you've never done a keto diet, using the coconut oil like 1 to 2 tablespoons a day and then gradually increasing it. Dr. Fife, who wrote the coconut ketogenic book, he said that's a perfect way to kind of introduce yourself into going to keto, getting your body to where you're not only getting into ketogenic state, but also allowing your body to get accustomed to the fats and slowly introducing those carbohydrate, protein, macronutrient changes. Because a lot of times when you first start doing that, you might get like what they call the keto flu, which is kind of like a cleansing effect, or just
Your
not
body
feel
starts
good.
to freak out because
Body-
it's looking for all
it's
those
like-
carbs for energy.
Yeah, it starts freaking out. And basically what that is like you're training your body to be a fat burning machine versus a carb burning machine.
Right. Which
So-
is the opposite of everything we've been programmed.
So, you
Don't
know,
eat fat.
Lindsay, you're on the other side of the camera. It's almost like cool if you'd come over here for a moment. Even though yeah, that's true. You have the Ohio State jersey on, so that'd be a little bit scary for us USC fans. But thinking out loud, you know, you've been following it, you like it, so come on over here and let's see your face, Lindsay. Come on, Lindsay, just for 1 second, just poke over here. All right, so Lindsay, you've been doing the diet.
I have been doing the diet.
Yes. And how do you like it?
I like it. The hardest part about getting on the keto diet initially out of the gate was that fat concept. Everybody's programmed to fats are bad, don't eat fats, get everything low fat. And so switching to a diet that's like avocados, tons of coconut oil, olive oil, all kinds of fats is almost like it's shocking.
It's oxymoron.
Right, exactly. Everything we've been programmed to do, you're now flipping that completely. So it's an adjustment, reprogramming your mind as much as internally reprogramming your body to burn.
How do you feel
fats.
on it?
I feel great, actually. I don't need as much coffee or caffeine. Naturally, I'm more energetic, which is nice.
Yeah.
And I don't have that feeling after meals of like, oh my God, I just overate. I feel gross. I do feel very full and satisfied, but I don't feel like, damn, I need to go take a nap.
Right.
That's been the best part about it.
So your dad and mom have been doing this.
They've been
Oh
doing
my God,
it.
your mom just gets thinner and thinner.
Right, she's down like
Right?
40 pounds.
I know, it's like crazy. Your
My
dad.
dad, too,
he's like,
40 pounds.
I haven't seen this thing since we were like teenagers, right?
Bodybuilding days.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah.
So it's worked good for you as well, too.
Right. My husband does it too.
Yeah, Robbie and I were talking about it all the time. He
Right.
just loves it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to follow once you can figure out, okay, what items to swap out for those carbs when you're thinking, oh, I want to have tacos. You
So we kind of laid that out
have
in here.
lettuce instead of tortillas.
Yeah. So one of the picks, and the staff also picked, was Vital Proteins. So one thing that's cool about collagen is it not only helps with the protein, but it's not an insulin-genic protein, so it doesn't fire up the insulin. The other thing it does, it helps with the healing of the gut. A lot of people really need the healing of the gut.
Yeah.
So the other thing that we did is one of my favorite things, the keto protein, we put a sample of the keto protein, the chocolate in here. That stuff's another thing you just literally eat out of the package, right? So.
Only you eat things
Yeah,
straight out of the package, Starkie.
sometimes you gotta have it. All right, so then we did a Slim Cube, and then the Slim Cube, what we
Thanks,
did here.
Starkie.
Yeah, thanks, Lindsay, for jumping on the other side of the camera. That was cool. So what happened with the Slim Cube? You know, throughout the years of us working here, you know, I've made up diets and things for a lot of different individuals, and they're always looking like first year, hey, what do I do to get slim or ripped or whatever the case might be. Ultimately, the Slim Cube, what's nice about it, we put in the CLA. We put in the Garcinia. Garcinia is an item that helps the body basically divert the sugars, so to speak, from carbohydrates into energy metabolism and prevent them from going down into the fat channel. A lot of people go, oh my gosh, well, you know, Garcinia, you know, Dr. Oz talked about it, and, you know, Dr. Oz like ends up with this bad stigma name throughout the years, or a good name, no matter how you want to look at them. But was there any research on it? Yes, there's a lot of clinical research on Garcinia. Very effective. The other thing that we do know is originally it was a Hoffman-LaRoche drug, believe it or not. Okay, so that's kind of fun. So then we also, as I said, we put the carnitine. We also put the we also put the CLA in the box. So everything's kind of in there, and we also put the metabolism in there from Life Seasons. At the same time, what we did do is we also put together a diet recommendation. Believe it or not, this is a diet that I've used for years with training different types of athletes. It's roughly about 1,700. This particular project's a little bit more focused probably for females than males. Not saying the male can benefit from this, the supplements and everything, but it's this particular diet, ironically speaking, is about as simple as it gets, but at the same time, we've had a lot of success throughout the 30 years of actually handing this diet out for free. So that's kind of fun. And then we also kind of explained to you a decent workout program, put the workout program so it's all together in one box, and you're good to go. It's $49.95, I think, for all the ketos. For the Rip Cube, the Keto Cube, and also for the Slim Cube and the Starter Cube, and we'll talk about that another time. All right, so I think that kind of covers it. You got a lot of options on what you can do. So a couple things to remember is, come into the stores, talk to the nutritional consultants. They're here to help you. Individually, a lot of you guys might be thinking, you know what, the bottom line on this is this might not be exactly what I'm looking for. Remember that the nutritional consultants can kind of individualize and help you to exactly what you need. This is the idea more or less just to kind of get you stimulated. Remember that we can help you out with your individual needs. All right, so this is Starkie Sowers. Thanks again for watching another Facebook Live, and we'll see you again next week.